Let me tell you about Sarah. She did everything right. Straight A student, AP classes, extracurriculars. She got into a good university, studied hard for 4 years, graduated with a degree in communications. Total cost? $120,000 in student loans. Her first job out of college? Barista at Starbucks, making $15 an hour. The same job her coworker got, who never went to college at all. Sarah will spend the next 20 years paying off a degree that qualified her to make coffee. This isn't a failure story. This is the new normal. And today I'm going to show you the math that proves your college diploma might be the most expensive piece of paper you'll ever own. Here's what they tell you about college costs: tuition, room and board, books. Added up for a public university, about $27,000 per year. For a private school, $59,000. Over 4 years, you're looking at $108,000 to $236,000. But that's not the true cost. Not even close. Because nobody talks about opportunity cost. While you're sitting in a classroom for 4 years, your high school friend who skipped college is working. Let's say they're making $40,000 a year. Not amazing, but realistic for someone with no degree. Over 4 years, that's $160,000 in earnings you gave up. Money you could have invested. Money that could have been compounding. So let's do the real math. Direct costs: tuition, housing, books, $120,000. Opportunity cost: 4 years of lost wages, $160,000. Total true cost of your degree, $280,000. But wait, that $30,000 your friend earned each year? If they invested just half of it, $15,000 annually at 7% returns, by the time you graduate, they'd have over $66,000 in investments already working for them. You have negative $120,000. They have positive $66,000. That's a $186,000 gap before you even start your first real job. And here's the part that really stings. The average student borrower takes 20 years to pay off their loans. Not the 10 years they tell you. 20 years. With interest, that $30,000 in loans becomes $50,000. That $100,000 becomes $180,000. You're not just paying for education. You're paying for education plus decades of compound interest working against you instead of for you. So why do people still go to college if the math is this bad? Because of something called credential inflation. And it's destroying the value of your degree while you're still paying for it. Here's how it works. In 1940, only 4.6% of Americans had a college degree. If you had one, you were special. Employers paid a premium for that rarity. Today, 40% of Americans have a bachelor's degree. What was once rare is now ordinary. Think about it like currency. If the government prints twice as much money, each dollar is worth half as much. The same thing happens with diplomas. When everyone has a degree, having a degree means nothing. It just becomes the baseline, the minimum requirement to even be considered. A study found that 65% of job postings for executive assistants now require a bachelor's degree. But only 19% of people currently doing that job have one. The job didn't change. The paper requirement did. This is why you see job postings asking for a master's degree for entry-level positions. It's why PhD holders are driving Ubers. The credential treadmill keeps speeding up, and you have to run faster just to stay in place. And here's the cruel irony. The more people go to college to get ahead, the more they ensure that college won't help anyone get ahead. It's a collective action trap. In 2013, 53% of Americans believed a degree was worth the cost. By 2023, only 42%. The public is waking up, but the debt remains. The college wage premium, how much more graduates earn than non-graduates, has plateaued. It's still there, about 60% higher earnings on average. But that gap has stopped growing. And for many majors, it doesn't exist at all. Your degree in philosophy, communications, or general studies? The wage premium might be zero or negative when you factor in the debt. Meanwhile, the skilled trades are desperate for workers. Electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, they're earning $60,000 to $90,000 with zero student debt, while English majors compete for unpaid internships. Let's talk about what $1.78 trillion looks like. That's the total student loan debt in America right now. More than credit card debt. More than auto loans. 43 million Americans carrying this weight. The average borrower owes $39,000. Sounds manageable, right? But averages lie. Half of borrowers owe more than that. Many owe six figures. And the monthly payment on $39,000 at current interest rates? About $400 per month for 10 years. But remember, most people don't pay it off in 10 years. They take 20. Some take 25. Interest keeps compounding. Here's a scenario. You borrow $100,000 for a private university degree. Interest rate, 7%. If you pay the minimum over 20 years, you'll pay back $186,000. You paid $86,000 just in interest, almost doubling your original debt. That $86,000 in interest? If you'd invested it instead at 7% returns over 20 years, you'd have over $350,000. Your degree didn't cost you $100,000. It cost you $100,000 plus $86,000 in interest plus $350,000 in lost investment returns. True cost, over $500,000. For a piece of paper that qualifies you for the same jobs your parents got with a high school diploma. And here's what really keeps me up at night. Student debt is the only debt you can't escape through bankruptcy. You can lose your house, your car, declare bankruptcy, and start fresh. But student loans, they follow you to the grave. Miss payments, they garnish your wages, they take your tax refunds, they can even take a portion of your Social Security when you retire, if you ever get to retire. This isn't education. It's indentured servitude with a graduation ceremony. So what should you actually do? Let me give you the framework nobody taught you. First, calculate the ROI before you enroll. Not all degrees are traps. Engineering, computer science, nursing, accounting, these have clear career paths with wages that justify the investment. A nursing degree costing $50,000 that leads to a $75,000 salary? That's a good investment. A $200,000 liberal arts degree from a private school with no clear career path? That's the trap. Before you sign any loan papers, answer this. What specific job will this degree qualify me for? And what does that job pay? If you can't answer clearly, don't sign. Second, consider the alternatives. Community college for 2 years, then transfer. You get the same degree for half the cost. Trade certifications that take months, not years. Apprenticeships where you get paid to learn. Coding boot camps. Online certifications. The world has changed. The best companies, Google, Apple, IBM, no longer require degrees for many positions. They care about what you can do, not what paper you have. Third, if you're already in debt, attack it strategically. Pay more than the minimum. Every extra dollar goes straight to principal and saves you years of interest. Look into income-driven repayment. Check if you qualify for public service loan forgiveness. Consider refinancing if your credit is good. But most importantly, don't compound the mistake by going back for a master's degree you don't need, just because you can't find a job with your bachelor's. Here's what I want you to remember. College isn't inherently bad. Education has value. But education and credentials are not the same thing. The system has turned diplomas into products, expensive products that depreciate the moment you buy them, while the debt appreciates every single month. You've been sold the idea that a degree is the only path to success. That's a lie that benefits universities, loan companies, and employers who use credentials as a lazy filtering mechanism. The truth? Success comes from skills, not paper. From solving problems, not sitting in lectures. From building things, not accumulating credentials. Before you sign away decades of your financial freedom for a diploma, do the math. Real math. Including opportunity cost, interest, and inflation. Your future self will thank you. Next week, we're covering the motivation trap. Why the gurus selling you hustle and grind are lying about how success actually works. Spoiler, it has a lot more to do with your genetics and circumstances than your mindset. You won't want to miss that one. I'm Man. Thanks for watching.